Coach, first time facing Wisconsin this season. What are you expecting? Is there going to be anything different maybe that you haven't seen in the past year or two?
Well, watching film, they haven't played for a while, but I like their team this year. I like the older guys that are taking some leadership role on their team. I watched them play early in the year. They've got new goaltending in there that's really helping solidify what they're doing. Of course, they've got talent. And I just think they're going to be one of the teams that are battling for it at the end.
Hi, Bob. How are you?
I'm great.
Good. I am curious, how do you go about when you've got those World Juniors guys that are gone for a period of time or whatnot? How does the kind of integration of them back into the team work, especially when they kind of just played a gold medal match here?
Well, it's like you, Megan. Where have you been? We're integrating you back in.
I know. Like I just slid right into here like I never left.
Yes.
Now that football's done, I'm back.
Welcome back. You know what? They're anxious to play. I told them they had to take the day off today. I go out on the ice and they're there, so I had to kick them off. They needed to take today off and rest. And all you really do is, hey, they've been playing games, so they're in game shape. There's no question they're a little tired, but their adrenaline will carry them through the weekend. I've kind of learned it's next week they've got to take a couple days and step away. They won't want to, but we're going to have to force it and see where they're at. They're young. They recover quick. They got great energy. But it's something that, really we got to monitor over the next few weeks to make sure that they get all the way back.
Bob, it's your second road trip and it's your third road series. What did you learn from the 4 games out in Michigan about kind of being on the road in this new world, and how can you apply that to the trip to Wisconsin?
Jess, I don't know if you learn anything. I mean, it's the fact that I think when you're here, like for all of us, like even our guys on campus, it's quiet. You're not going to class. You can't go out. You're really hanging out with each other. So when you go on the road, it's just an extension kind of being here. I love the fact that we're going on the road right now. And I came at a great time the first half. It's coming at a great time now. We need to get on the bus. We need to put some movies in. We need to just have a diversion. I think it comes at a great time for us.
And then prior to the World Juniors, you talked about kind of trading texts and talking to Nate Lehman. What's been your conversation with him since the gold medal game, and now that he's joined you in a pretty exclusive club there?
Well, one, it's just congratulatory. What a job Nate did and his staff. I mean, because that team was dialed in, and they showed it in the championship game. Because according to all the experts, they didn't have a chance. They played great, and from start to finish. It didn't matter what the shot said at the end of the game, because they withstood everything in that game. So it was a great gold medal victory in the way they did it. If I'm betting right now, I haven't talked to Nate. I bet he's resting because you are beat up, and he's going. And I heard he had to quarantine in Rhode Island, but I haven't talked to him yet. Just text. We'll catch up in the next few days for sure.
Yeah, Bob, what was your Tuesday night like watching the game? Where'd you watch it? How'd you react to it? And then what have you heard from 3 players on their experiences?
I was at home, and it was kind of neat because it is a family experience, but our daughter, who lives away from home, all of a sudden our garage door went up at whatever time at night. She comes barreling in the house. She said, I have to watch the 3rd period. Because wherever she was, she couldn't get it. And so we all sat in the living room and cheered. It's an emotional, and we're vested into USA Hockey for life. And during the game, exchanging text with, close friends that were part of it. Our staff, now Steve Miller and Mayo were part of this staff, but I exchanged texts with a couple of the former players. Greenway went on NHL Network, did a great job. You're vested all the way. And I had a little checks with Troy Terry, with McElvoy, And Mac had his USA jersey on, sent a picture of it. I mean, it's an emotional, it's a big deal. I just can tell you that. And there was some hooting and hollering going on in the Motzko house, I can tell you that.
So Bob, I guess I'm kind of curious too. They played with those World Junior guys. Obviously, we're on a team with Cole Caulfield, right? And they're on the same side of that. Just won a gold medal with him. Now they kind of have this quick switch to going from like teammate to opponent. How do you think that they're going to handle that kind of transition in a quick way?
One team will be maroon, one team will be red, and the line will be drawn in the sand when we pull into town. Trust me. And it'll be all over the country because it's going to happen somewhere else too, somewhere along the way. Teammates are going to play, but they'll have a special bond. I know in 2017, we went to Miami and, flew back with Roslovic and then had turn around and, go right against each other. And you put your jersey back on, where your allegiance lie, and these guys want to get back at it. I told all three of our guys they didn't have to play this weekend. I said they could all have the weekend off if they needed it. And I actually encouraged it if they needed to take time. And of course they told me no.
Hey, Bob, I'm just kind of curious, what are your impressions of your team's 10-0 start? I mean, the best start your program's gotten off to in 80 years. I mean, that says something in itself, but what do you make of the start so far?
Well, obviously we're very pleased. We got good camaraderie. We got great leadership. We've been very efficient. We had outstanding goaltending, really efficient special teams. And when coaches coach, I think we don't ever coach the record. You coach your team. You watch the film and you break the film down, win or lose. Obviously it's a little better to break it down when you win, but you break it down for what you have to work on to keep moving forward. And that's what we're doing right now. We do have messages to our team right now, we have excellent leadership right now. We've had, we stress the journey we're on, and not where we are is today. The journey where we're going is the most important piece. And we just keep moving together with what we're doing. And our messages stay clear and concise. We don't ever we don't have standings board. We never had them. I never had them anywhere I've coached. I don't have them here. We want to be playing our best hockey come the end of the year. And we keep moving toward that goal on the journey that we're on. And I'm sorry to be boring with my answer to that, but it's the truth. I really like where we're sitting right now. I'll take it, but we have a long way to go, and we know that.
Bob, we haven't talked to you since the Colin Schmidt announcement was made. Can you tell us about him a little bit and what he brings to your roster and if he's on the ice yet and so forth?
Yeah, it's kind of and I'll tell you the story. Colin was committed here before I got here, and then he didn't come here. Okay, but when you have a recruit, there actually is a procedure where he goes into a database inside your admission with your compliance people. I don't want to be too technical. Late this summer, he showed up on our list, and compliance called us and said, is he back with you? We said, no, he's not back. We never talked to him. And they go, well, he's in the Carlson School of Management. He's going to school here. And I didn't know anything. So I called his coach at Union, and I said, what's going on? And he had great things to say about Colin. I'd only had one conversation with him in my life until that point. And I put it in the back of my mind. The coach said he played 30 games for Union last year. Rick Bennett does a terrific job. He goes, he just wanted to go home and go back to school. Well, about a couple of weeks ago, we're down to 13 forwards. I remembered he was here. I called him on Christmas Eve and left him a message. And he called me back. He said, Coach, this is a really weird message. What are you calling me for? I said, well, I got a question for you. And I said, would you think about if we can make this work? Would you want to come and play with us for the rest of the year, and we'll see how this goes? I said, I haven't really watched you play much and you don't know much about us, but you're here, you got 30 games of college experience. Your coach really liked you. I'd love to meet you and see if this is something you want to do. He goes, Coach, can I think about it and get back to you on the 26th? Day after, yep. He called me back 2 hours later. He said, I'm in. And that's how it played down. He didn't train. He wasn't in the I don't even think he was in the transfer portal. Like, he had to go in there. He was just a student in the student body at the University of Minnesota. And we happened to see his name. If we would have deleted his name, I never would have known he was on our campus, but he was still. So there's the story.
And is he on the ice practicing now? Is he available for this weekend and so forth?
Yeah. He's got. He hasn't played in a half a year, so he's catching up. Learning the systems. He's skating every day. He's got a stall, and it was awesome when first day he showed to practice. He said, "Guys, we got a new player here," and the guys let out a huge cheer. A lot of the guys know him from through the years. And they were actually confirmed that he'd be a great addition. We always thought it was kind of funny, too. The 3 World Junior guys got back last night, and I don't think we'd told them. And he was our whole team met the players last night when they got back and surprised them in the locker room, a little surprise. It's awesome. And I think they were giving a little looks like, who's the new guy in the locker room? And, well, by the way, you got a new teammate. So it's a good story. I hope it works out because he is a terrific young man, and he's got experience, and there's a chance we're going to need him, and that's what I told him.
Bob, Jack's numbers were pretty good last year. They're obviously really good this year. Is there anything different about him? More mature, seems more comfortable. Anything that you can put your finger on why he has been as good as he's been in goal for you.
Yep. If you look from Christmas on last year, his numbers are exactly the same. Give or take. And what happened last year, it took him a half a year. And one of the stories that I've shared here is like early in the year last year, he's an upperclassman junior transfer. He was helping our freshmen load and unload the bus early in the year. I go, what are you doing? And he goes, Coach, I'm a new player. I got to earn my way. And I had to tell him, no, you're not a freshman. You're a veteran. You're here for a reason. And I really think it took him a half year to get comfortable. So his numbers from Christmas on were excellent goaltending from Christmas on, and he's continued it this year. So that's how I answer that. It hasn't just been this year. Now it's been a year. It's been a full year dating back to last Christmas that he's been doing this.
Thanks.
Any other questions for Coach?
And he's that's the answer to it. He got comfortable. He took ownership. The team is, he's a captain. He got voted captain. It was that whole process of a new player coming into a program. Freshmen pay their dues over a year or two to get there. It just took him 3 months, and he was trying to pay dues, and we were trying to push him up the ladder, and because he is an outstanding goalie, and it's a great story.
Hey, Bob, the question I had was a little bit about Jack, a little bit about the rest of the team, that they don't seem to get rattled a lot. Is there something behind that? Can you explain why that is?
I just think it's our maturity. And I give the leadership, and at Christmas last year, we talked about it once. What we were 4-9, something like that. And I apologize if you guys can look it up. And we never got rattled last year. And then from Christmas on, we've only lost 6 games from last Christmas. That team didn't get rattled. We got beat 9-2 by North Dakota. And arrows were flying at us. We're kind of what's going on. And the next night, we played a whale of a game. We bounced back. We started to show our mettle, battling last year with at that time 17, 18, 19 freshmen and sophomores. Well, now we're juniors, a good we only have a few seniors, but we're a year older. We kind of were battle tested last year to get us to this point. you know, we weren't able to complete our mission last year going to Penn State. And that's always been our thing, is we wanted that game. Like Penn State had been beating our rear ends, and we knew we were catching up to them. And that's just where we were in our process. And, you know, we wanted to play that game, and that's how we started our year. You know, we just wanted to play that next game. And so I think we got beat up last year and didn't rattle, and that this leadership group's carried it into this year.
Bob, if I can get one more. This week, Brad Frost talked about the good relationship between his program and your program.
Yeah.
And he credited two things for that. Number one, the number of Edina kids on both teams. And number two, he said the relationship has really improved since you've taken over the men's program. Just wanted to get your thoughts on kind of how the two programs get along. Obviously, you can't do as much social this year with the restrictions, but just how do you feel about the men's and women's programs?
Well, it's so, I mean, that's one of the things that's really hurt us this year with COVID is we can't have any interaction. And the 2 years prior to that, we had the guys and girls get together with on the football field with a day of competition. Put them in teams together, and our guys were going to their games. I mean, we're all testing. I can't believe, I'm not trying to start controversy, but like our guys would love to go to their games today. Like we're here and we're not allowed to go, and our guys were going to their games, and you know what? And they wanted to be there, and we want to go to other sports. But when we were closer because we're not in the same building, with two different buildings. But I know that we know that they come to our games, and I know they started to hang out. We talked about respect. One of the things that we really wanted to, have a great, and so far, knock on wood, that we want to have a great reputation of being gentlemen and being team players on the campus with other sports. But that's the one, we do share the same weight room. And we were really gaining ground. I'm sure our guys do away from the rink if they're able to do any social gatherings, but this year it's just too darn bad. They play today and we'd be there, and we can't. And that's all. It was just the doors were open both ways, and we have fun when the things we did as a group last year was a lot of fun. You get that from them, not from me, please.
With that, we're going to say thank you to Coach. We will talk to you soon, and we will be back soon with the players.
One comment though, like the question before, that we are going to get punched in the nose one of these nights, and then we're going to find out how we respond after what we've done. And those are challenges we got punched in the nose Saturday night, and those are lessons we have to have by playoff time, and we're going to get them. The speed limit January to February really starts amping up, and we're excited for that. All right, I'm done.
Well, I know you're always thinking Friday, Saturday. Are you referring to Monday's game when Arizona State had the lead in the second period?
Yeah. Did I say Friday, Saturday?
You said Saturday. It felt like a Saturday.
When I say Friday, Saturday, I mean the two games we played. Today's Thursday. I think it's Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday. So,
thank you,
Coach.
All right. See you, Mike.
Thanks, Coach.
And how do you guys, Bob was real good about saying he doesn't put a standings board up. You guys don't talk about the record, but you guys know how well you've been playing. How in the room do you guys keep from getting a little too ahead of yourselves, thinking that you're bulletproof after the way you've been playing so far?
Yeah, I mean, obviously going and having this record at the beginning of the year is good, but we know that it's about the end of the year, and the beginning of the year doesn't matter too much because we got to keep building. And we saw against ASU, and we've seen in other series, there's still some holes in our games, and we've been able to come out with wins, but we're learning. Even when we're winning, we're learning from the mistakes we're making. And a lot of guys have played here 3 years, and this is their fourth year. And we've learned that college hockey is very difficult. And just because we're winning now, we can't take that for granted. And we got to keep pushing to get better.
It's been said that with summer leagues and all-star teams and all the different places you play besides for your college team, all the players know each other by now, no matter what college they play for. And, all the games count for the same amount of points in the standings. But does it still mean something when you see those red jerseys of the Badgers?
I mean, oh yeah, we never really have liked Wisconsin at Minnesota, and I got a couple buddies who went to Wisconsin, and they're my friends. Not that weekend, but when we're playing them, they're your opponents, and I really don't like them. So we're ready to go in there, and it's a big weekend for us playing Wisconsin. They're a very good team, so we're ready to go.
Yeah, and I was going to ask, what when you're scouting Wisconsin, what do you look for, and what do you think of having Cole Caulfield or Dylan Holloway or some of those guys headed your way when you're on defense?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they got a lot of skilled guys. Those guys are unbelievably skilled. You saw that in the World Juniors, how well the both of them played. And even besides those guys, they got a ton of other skill guys. And, you can't let them get going, give them time and space. You got to close in on them early, or else they're just going to be skating around your zone, making you look stupid. So we just got to get on them, stay tight with them, and not really give them that space that they like to play with.
Ben, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to see you. So you talk about Cole Caulfield. Obviously, some of your teammates who are coming back from World Juniors, they kind of got up close and personal with him. They were teammates with him. Is that an advantage? Do you think they learn some trade secrets, kind of being on the same side as him?
I don't know. We'll have to see. They just got back, so we'll have to talk to them and see. But we've played him. This is his second year here, so we played him 4 times last year. So we've gotten to know him pretty well, and he's an unbelievably talented player. So you can't let guys like that get going. You have to get on them early and make them know that it's going to be a long night for them. And if you don't, they can make you pay.
Coach said he was surprised to see those 3 on the ice today, and that he had to kick them off even and tell them to get rest. Well, did they stroll in with the medals on? What was that like seeing them today?
Yeah, we saw them last night when they got back. They had their medals and their jerseys and stuff, and it was a pretty cool experience for them, and even the guys not on the team, on our team. Just seeing them succeed at the World Junior Tournament. I mean, we all grew up watching it. So having your teammates go there and win gold is pretty special for all of us.
What was it like watching that game?
It was pretty nerve-wracking at the end there when Canada was all over them. But I'm glad they got out to an early lead, so we didn't really have to worry about it. When they got late in the third, they needed 2 goals, so I wasn't too nervous. I knew they could get it done, but I was really proud of them.
Yeah, Ben, where did you guys watch the game? Did you gather as a group at all?
I know some guys just basically watched it with their roommates at their houses, but we were texting back and forth the whole game, just watching it. And then especially on the way, like the Finland game, we were all texting, chirping Sampo about how they're beating Finland. And then Canada, we were chirping the Canadians. So it was fun with the mostly American team we have to just give it to the other guys from different countries on our team too.
And for all the talk, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Jess. Last night when you guys you met the World Junior guys and they were coming back, was that something you guys planned, a little surprise? I have no idea. I'm kind of curious how that came.
Yeah, I mean, Bob told us they were coming back tonight, and we decided as a team. I mean, not many people can say they won a gold medal, so it was a cool thing to be able to welcome them back and bring them back into our team, because we've played 4 games without them now, and we're playing on a different team. But it's good to have them back, and we're happy to have them. So it was pretty cool to do that.
Ben, for all the talk about those 3 guys and as good as they've been among your young defenders, Kester's really starting to make his presence on the score sheet a lot more, and is showing a lot of people a lot of skill. Just tell me what he's brought to the defensive core for you guys so far.
Yeah, I mean, he's just in with those the 3 who went to the World Juniors. He's unbelievably good skater. He sees the ice really well, and I remember growing up, we were the same age in grade, so watching him, he was one of those D growing up that I was like, I wanted to compete with him and try and be better than him. So now playing on a team with him, you see how good he really is. He's unbelievable skater and sees the ice very well, and he's been able to make the jump to college pretty smoothly, and you can see that out on the ice with his talent that he's been able to make good plays and been really helpful for our team.
We'll take last call for questions for Ben.
Then your coach talked about, that at some point he said you're going to get punched in the nose, and he said that happened a little bit against Arizona State. Second period, you look up and they've got a lead on you. What was that moment like, and what was the next 30 minutes of that game like to come back and win when you've been challenged like that?
I mean, I think it showed something we hadn't seen before. We went down against them the first game, but that was really early, and to have a lead and then go down like that, we hadn't really faced that before, and it showed that we can come back still. We hadn't really had to do that since the beginning of the season, and to be tested like that, it was I think it was good for us because we saw that we can battle back, and the kids on the bench, we didn't really get that frustrated. We just kept going. Even with the Michigan goal, we didn't get too down knowing we were going to be on SportsCenter, but I think we just kept battling, and that was good for us because we hadn't really faced that yet.
Came on with us and said, he doesn't have a standings board. You guys don't talk about your record. That said, you guys know how well you've been playing. How do you keep it from getting into the room that all is well, we haven't lost, we're kind of taking out everybody that's put in front of us? How do you kind of avoid generating that hype inside the room?
Yeah, I think it's just sort of taking it one game at a time. And, when we get into the locker room, during practice weeks, we keep it pretty loose and, we have a lot of fun. But once it becomes game time, we all, we sort of get our head into the game a lot. And, everyone knows what we have to do. Everyone knows the task at hand. And I think it's a lot of self-motivation and just our drive to, want to win because, last year we didn't start off too hot. But, it's just our drive right now that everyone wants to be here. Everybody wants to win.
Hi, Bryce. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm Megan Ryan for the Star Tribune. I'm not sure we've ever officially met, and this maybe doesn't count because we're on Zoom. But hi, nice to see you. So I was wondering, with the World Junior guys, what was kind of take me through? I know you guys decided to meet them when they came home last night, and kind of what was that experience like, or how was that kind of planned, and just kind of welcoming them back to the team?
Yeah, I mean, we just knew what time their flight got back, and so. Our whole team made a plan to be at the rink to welcome them back, and it was a special moment for them, along with us too, to finally have them back with us and be able to move forward. But it was really special getting them back after a while, especially with them winning gold, and so it was just a cool moment to be there with them.
Bryce, some of your teammates talked about watching the Finland game and sharing your thoughts with Sampo. Tell us what that was like.
Yeah, I think I was probably the hardest on him, but that's just our friendship, and that shows how deep our locker room is with everyone gives each other credit just because of how close we are as a group. And I definitely think that Sampo wanted them. Sampo was the only person that wanted them to win that game, and so I'm pretty sure everyone just about let them know that.
And then likewise, how did Jack take the gold medal game? Jack and Justin, I guess too.
Yeah, I mean, they were actually pretty good about it. They were happy that, they knew 3 guys on the USA team. So, they were pretty happy for them to win it.
Bryce, Ben talked about his dislike of the Badgers. How big of a weekend is this for you as well?
Yeah, this is big. I mean, it's been a rivalry for, I don't know how long, but, it's every time you go into the rink, it's a different type of game. And, both teams really want it, and especially in this series. And so I think this will be a really good test for us this year.
Bryce, earlier in the week, Brad Frost talked about the good relationship between the men's program and the women's program there. Just wanted to see what your experiences were with that. I mean, obviously this is a different year with COVID where you guys can't gather as much. And then the fact that your brother's actually marrying someone he met that was on the women's team, do you have kind of a different perspective there?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know a lot of them just because of, Danny and, she like kind of introduced me to like whenever I would go to Michael's games or to her games, like I would always talk to her after, and I would see her friends, and that was kind of a big thing for me, especially last year coming as a freshman. I already knew a few of the seniors just because of that.
And are you a groomsman in the wedding?
I am, fortunately enough.
Bryce, can you talk about your season a little bit and the progress that you've made this year from game 1 to now game 10?
I mean, it was nice getting a goal in that first series, but kind of struggled a little bit until just this past weekend. Motzko put me as the extra skater, and I kind of took that to heart, and just things started to click a little bit here in that last game, and now just to keep rolling, personally, as well as the team, winning a lot of games, it's really big.
A lot of us remember. Go ahead, Frank.
His message got through to you then when you look at the line chart.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want to play big minutes, and being an extra skater, you don't really have that opportunity. You're just sort of waiting for your name to get called, and luckily I got one in the first shift, and he bumped me up a little bit after that, and me, Myers, and McLaughlin were kind of moving along together out there, and we were working really well together. So he kind of stuck us together, and I really like that line, and I really like playing with those guys.
Thanks.
Bryce, when I think about you and I think about Wisconsin, I think about your first collegiate goal. What do you remember about that?
Yeah, I mean, I especially after the goal, I don't really remember much, but all I remember was sort of floating around in the middle. I knew there wasn't much time left, and Lacombe and me made eye contact, and he just sort of fired it at me, and I threw my stick out there, and luckily it hit off my stick and bounced over the shoulder, and after that I was just super excited to finally get the monkey off my back, and kind of start working from there.
With
Bryce,
the number of
go ahead, Jeff.
Go ahead.
All right, thanks. There's moments of adversity for every team. How have you guys managed to make it at least look like you guys aren't rattled, or just completely not be rattled?
I mean, like I said, I think we know the task at hand. We within a game, we take it one period at a time, and our real goal is just win the period. And anytime that something doesn't go our way and we don't get too flustered, I mean, all the guys have each other back, and if one person's a little frustrated, everyone goes up and talks to them, saying like, "You're good, man." And I think that's really big for us, especially having a little bit older of a group this year instead of last year. We have a lot of leaders on the team that can kind of step up and fulfill that.
Any other questions for Bryce?
Bryce, after that goal that Johnny Walker got in the second period on Monday, did you guys congratulate Jared Moe on the fact that he's played one game and he's already been on SportsCenter?
Yeah, I think a couple of boys sent in the, I think it was number 1 on SportsCenter top 10. So, it's kind of unfortunate that it's happened to the Gophers twice, and we're trying to get out of that threshold of, having it happen to us. Maybe this year we'll kind of stick it back to somebody and give it back to them.